Shalom. So I'm gonna call this, you know what I mean. No, I don't know what you mean. I'm trying to teach you something. So that's what I'm trying to teach you something, what this really is called, instead of you know what I mean. So I had a discussion with somebody yesterday. They was like, they was like, what up, dog? And I'm like, hey, don't call me dog, please. And I had to let them know, dog is connected to Anubis, the jackal of death, or the devil dog. And so it's a death term, just like black is. I don't like people calling me black. I'd rather be called nigga or niggas than that. Because I know where it originates. That when you say niggas in a mocking way, it does not, to me, take away what it originally means, which it really originally means royalty. I don't like people saying good morning to me. But hey, I'm not gonna stop you from saying what you say, but I'll respond, rest rising. Cause I ain't mourning, ain't no death going on over here. Not at this time. Ain't no good morning for me. Blessing. Be blessed. No, I ain't gonna be less for you. And people say, oh man, you all into these semantics. And I'm like, yep, I am. I'm into semantics. I realize that the power of death and life is in the tongue. So I don't want certain things spoken over me. I won't let certain people pray for me. I can't stop you if you pray on your own time, but you ain't putting your hands on me and praying for me. Nah. Especially if you ain't, believing the same way I believe. Nah, I'm straight on that. Had a dialogue with somebody, they was saying, black people racist too. And I'm like, no, I'm not black, one. I was like, but, melanin people are prejudiced. We have a whole lot of prejudice. We hateful too. But racist, I'm like, I don't think you really know the definition of racist. I don't think it fits and it applies to what we are. I'm like, we ain't in a position of power. And we definitely wasn't the ones, active in the colonization of most of the lands. If anything, we was, more active against our own or people that look like us than groups that didn't look like us. We didn't go at people because of their skin color or how they look. We went at people due to religion, due to policies and stuff like that, but it wasn't about skin color. That was something that the palm skin people mostly did. When they call themselves dominating the earth. That ain't us. Racism, nah. We don't even consider ourselves a race. We nation. Only race that I really, as a lineage that I represent or acknowledge, is the human race. I don't see this as race. No. Because you are what your father is. If my father was of Italian, I would be Italian. Regardless if I look brown or not. Ain't no white. And them people palm skin, they look more like the palm than white. I ain't seen nobody white. Maybe albinos. And you know that there are a lot of melanin nations that have albino people. So what? They're a different race, or by your logic, or are they still a part of the same nation that they were born from? Come on. A lot of these words are spellings, whole English language. I ain't messing with it. I ain't in that game, and I'm gonna constantly be about them semantics. I'm gonna deal with the meaning of words. And people like, oh man, you go to church? No, I don't go to church. I don't go to no pagan temples. Oh man, why you call it pagan temple? Even in the book, it wasn't really called that. Ecclesia was a person. It was not a building. The temple they went to was the synagogue. The temple, the hekel. People were the ecclesia. It wasn't a building. So that whole church thing was always a pagan temple. Circe. Dealing with a pagan deity, sun god, and sun worship. Gospel. Don't do that one either. God spell. But the thing is, though, okay. All right. I'm going to be honest. I could be about semantics, but when I'm dealing with somebody that's on a level where they really don't know no better, I'm not trying to beat them up on the small things. I let that ride. But if you come to me as a teacher and these things you don't know, because it bothers me, a lot of these people that call themselves teaching me, and every word, God, I'm like, why you out there pronouncing or calling out or invoking God real? You know as well as I do that his name is Yah. The Father's name is Yah. You know, you could call him the Most High, but you gonna call him God, or you gonna call him Lord. You know, when you know better, you should do better. Now, again, if I'm dealing with somebody that's, you know, like, you know, my mama is a Christian or whatever, so when she say Jesus, I know who she talking about. It don't bother me. I may, you know, sometimes, you know, go into the lecture and telling her about Yahusha, but if we just having a brief conversation, I'm making it brief. But when a teacher, someone who calls himself authoritative and try to be authoritative over me, come with that, I'm like, man, get out my face. I'm like, you know, and I might not even say those words, but that's how my face looks. Because it's like, you are coming at me with this milk and I'm able to eat meat. I get it if I'm dealing with somebody that's only able to eat milk or drink milk. You know, I don't want to choke them out with meat. But with me, I don't need to be spoon-fed baby food. Talk to me in a mature way. You know, because honestly, when you talk to me with that other talk and you supposed to be of level or you consider yourself above me, I'm like, what are you saying? You going against your own self. You trying to be authoritative and be a teacher, and yet you seem to need to be taught yourself. Because you know better and ain't doing better. You know the name and ain't using it. Why are you using these other names when you dealing with me one-on-one? I get it, if you're dealing with a whole mass of people and you don't know the level of people, cool. But you're dealing with me, and you know I know it. What you doing? Oh, you insult me? What you doing? Come on. Put that baby food down. I don't need that. And if that's what you serving, I'm gonna push the plate away. I don't want it. I'm sorry. I don't need it. If you gotta get to that level and you think you're dealing with me, I'm straight. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for you to regurgitate things that I already done studied and stuff like that. I don't need to go to kindergarten again when I've advanced past that. That don't make sense that you're gonna try to introduce something to me on a kindergarten level and I'm not on that level. To me, that's insulting. All right, about to get into this J-O-B, journey, otherwise bound. Or what did it, is that right? But anyway, obviously bound. Yeah, that's what it is. Journey obviously bound. I'm going to this place where I'm obviously bound. All right, shalom. Shankwil Yah.